Hello and welcome to the Sisters for Fitness Wellness Show. I'm Stephanie Gaines-Bryant. Our guest today is Bill Murray, and he is the owner and operator of Pure Green. And it's right here, a neighborhood shop right here in Bowie. Tell us about Pure Green and welcome, Bill.
Thank you, Stephanie. Yes, we started in March of 26 at Bowie Town Center, and we're a retail store open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. We sell smoothies, acai bowls, cold pressed juices, oatmeal, and toast. And we sell very nutrient-rich offerings at Bowie Town Center. That's very delicious also.
Okay, so with the smoothies and the acai bowls, how are they different from other places who sell similar items?
That's a good question. We don't add any ice to our products. We also don't add any sugars to our products. There's no additives, no fillers. So that's one key differentiator. Another is that we pack up to 5 pounds of nutrients, vitamins, and fruits and vegetables into our cold pressed juices, and they're 16-ounce containers, and they're just really amazingly nutritious as well as just delicious as well.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, it is.
Well, tell us, you said that you don't add any ice. What does the ice do to the drink or the product?
Well, we use some frozen fruits and vegetables, and what things like ice and frozen fruit and vegetables do is it does give you a bit of a base. Otherwise, it would be kind of very soupy, your smoothies. So there is something about the flavor and taste profile that is positively impacted by something that's a little cooler, that gives it that grounding. But we decided to, Pure Green as a company decided to not include ice with our offerings because we wanted to give you something that was really dense in terms of nutrition.
So tell me about the Pure Green company. Tell us who are they and what brought you to Pure Green?
Yes, we're a company out of Sunrise, Florida, and we're part of the franchise division. There's also a wholesale juice division. It was founded in 2014 by Ross Franklin in Brooklyn, New York, before he eventually moved the company to Sunrise, Florida. And he was a fitness entrepreneur, and he's initially involved in gyms and that part of fitness. But he decided before 2014 that he wanted to get involved in nutrition, which ultimately is a bigger part of our health. As you know, it's our genes and our genetic makeup is also important to our health, as well as our environment, both the ones that we grew up in and then the ones we live in as an adult. But ultimately, what we eat and what we consume has a really big impact on our health. And the biggest, it appears, more than exercise, even though obviously we're all encouraged to exercise, and exercise is a good thing. So anyway, long and short of it is, in 2014, he made that decision. He opened up the first store in Manhattan. It did quite well, and then by 2020, he was franchising it, starting in Chicago, and now there's roughly 100 locations around the country. We're the 5th one in Maryland, and there's a couple in Northern Virginia as well in the local area, and then there's one at DuPont Circle in the District of Columbia.
Oh, what made you decide to get in on this venture?
It's another good question, and sometimes you wonder why you did this. It's a lot of work. It's more work than I thought, but I decided roughly about 2 years ago now to get involved in a franchise business, and then once I started looking into it, I was introduced to Pure Green by a consultant, and I went to one of the local stores and I tried out a couple of the smoothies, and it was almost like love at first taste. I guess you just love this stuff. It's just delicious, and it's not too expensive, and it's just so good for us. And then I was like, boy, if I was closer to the store, that would be great. And I recognized that there's a large territory that was not covered, and there were opportunities. And so I was pretty much all in within a month or two of being introduced to it, and which is pretty fast considering what this all involves. But it took about 18 months to actually open up the store. It was a long process.
Now, for people who are interested in starting their own business, is there any advice that you would give them? There's things that you have learned over your time owning this business?
Yeah, I've learned a lot. I think it's good to talk to the operators, not only the people that a franchisor would tell you, hey, you can talk to this person, but talk to other people, because you'll find out that there's a range of experiences that people have. And it is a lot of work. It's a tremendous amount of risk as well. There's also a reward that comes with the risk that could be substantial, but in many cases it's not quite as substantial as one might think, and it's more of a long-term payout. But essentially, it takes a lot of work and a lot of risk, and you have to really prioritize it high in your life. And so it's much different than having a 9-to-5 job or any job where you get paid by someone else, because you're ultimately responsible for so much. And some people can do that, and some people, that could be a challenge for them. And so you have to, I think you always have to do a gut check, like, am I really up for this? Or am I kind of like just seeing the aspects of it that are romantic or appealing? Am I just looking at the top 10 to 20% of who does this, and do I need to like consider that there's a lot of people that do struggle. Now franchises, they do have a higher success than your independently run businesses. Of course, you have to pay someone else and give them a percentage of your royalties, your sales, but because you have this template that you're tapping into in some marketing, they say that I think within 5 years of operation, 90% of franchises are still operating. I think that's a statistic. So that's something to consider as well. But I think one shouldn't rush to the decision to do something like this, and one should talk to a lot of people. And then obviously, I think it's important to have the support structure, the loved ones and family, people that are going to be there for you, because that's going to be important. When you're just the sole operator like me, it's a lot on one person. So it's good if you have like a spouse or best friends or other people that would support you.
Now, you chose Bowie.
Yes.
To bring your business to. Why Bowie?
Well, like you, I live in Bowie. I live in South Bowie. I don't have quite the history you have, but I've been here for over 4 years, and I feel good about that. And I did look in different areas in both Anne Arundel County and Prince George's County, because I was the first store to open in either of those counties. But I looked at Annapolis, looked at College Park, I looked at Crofton, Gambrels, but it just turned out that Bowie Town Center is where it was meant to be, and it turned out it was a great opportunity for me. And it's a place, Bowie, I feel like, where it's underserved. And as you know, many people in Bowie complain about the options that we have for dining, whether you're talking about a formal sit-down restaurant or more like what we're doing, more of it is largely grab and go, but some people do like to stay, and we do have Wi-Fi, and you can work or you can just have a meeting there. Some people do that too. So we very much welcome that, and it's a very inviting atmosphere.
And also healthy options.
Yes.
Opposed to other options that we have. And it's time for us to bring more of that into this community.
Yeah, I agree.
Have you seen people very receptive to that concept?
Yes, we've gotten a really warm response. The city of Bowie has been very supportive of us, everyone from Mayor Mike on to the people who work at City Hall, and we offer them a discount, 10% discount for the city of Bowie employees. And we really appreciate the support. That we just recently got a grant from the city to help us with marketing and outreach. And I've just gotten a very warm response from people. So many people have said, this is just what we need. We're so grateful that you opened up this store. They predicted we're going to do well. And it's good to have that moral support, not only that you come to our store and buy from us, but you actually saying those kind words. It's very good for our morale. It's very helpful to us.
Now, you've also brought jobs here to this area. So tell us, how many people do you employ?
We have 15 people that work in our store, because we are open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. So that's a lot of time to cover. And
so you can come for breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
You can, yes, you can, yeah. And sometimes you have businesses that aren't always faithful to those things, but we are definitely faithful. We feel like we need to establish credibility. We need to show that we're in it. We're going to do what we say we're going to do. We're going to keep our word, and so it's important to keep that. I mean, there's going to be the occasional holiday like Christmas and New Year's where we'll be closed, but other than that, we're open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week, and it's 14 hours. It's a lot. It's a lot of time.
That's a long day. So with the employees, are they mainly young folks? Are they mainly middle-aged, older? Who are your employees? Who are you hiring?
Well, we have a few of our employees who are either high school students or just graduated from high school, and then we have several that are college students, including 2 or 3 that are essentially home for the summer from places like University of Maryland or other colleges. And we really like some of these employees. They're really smart and they pick up on things. And then we have some older employees, and I'd say one of our best employees is, from what appears to be the oldest person there, and he's got a 9-to-5 job in the federal government, and he works a few nights a week with us, and he's excellent. He's very very methodical in his approach, and he just does a great job. And he clearly is working with us because he loves what we do, and I could tell that from when we interviewed. And I was hoping he would accept our offer, and he did, and it's been great. And so I've learned that you have to really look at you have to judge each person individually, of course, and we would love to hire people who are older, even over 55, which is what Mayor Mike kind of gave me that advice when I told him we were doing some outreach with the senior center, and we would encourage people who are older to come to apply if they really like this type of thing, and if they want a part-time job, maybe like 10, 15, 20 hours a week, we'd love to talk to them about that. But we also like the younger employees because they have a certain energy and dynamism to them, and some of them really love healthy food. There's little generational differences, I think, where there's a lot more information available online about food, and so it's kind of interesting. Especially females they invest a bit more into fitness, into what they eat, their nutrition, than men, just generally speaking. So we're kind of, we've got an interesting group of people that we work with,
Now, you were telling me off air, we were chatting a little bit about the way the product is actually made and how the technology has changed over the years where the product lasts longer. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, specifically when we're talking about the cold pressed juices and the shots, which we have a refrigerator where we have those contained. So it used to be, and it still is for many players in this industry that do juices, is that it's good for about 72 hours. And my understanding is that they use heat to try to pasteurize the product to eliminate the bacteria and germs. And that's what Pure Green used to do. And then Pure Green made a decision to invest in HPP technology. So it's hyper pasteurizing technology, and it uses the pressure of up to 6,000 PSI on the juice when it's being made to eliminate the germs and bacteria. And apparently what this process does is it does not, as opposed to heat would tend to limit the shelf life to 72 hours. And so what our process does is it extends it to about 2.5 months. So that's a game changer because you can make it one place and send it out. You have all the equipment in that one place. You send it out and distribute it, and so you have elite athletes that drink Pure Green, and then you have the stores like that where you and I and the average person can go buy it for $8.50 a bottle of 16 ounces or $4.25 for a shot, which has like kind of this kind of more intense type of approach with the juice, things like ginger that can help you with immunity and with readiness and your alert levels. And but anyway, so HPP technology, according to Ross Franklin, the CEO of Pure Green, it's been a game changer for the company.
I'm sure it makes it so much more cost effective.
Yes.
So let's talk about the actual some of the actual products that you sell. Can you have a list, of course,
yes,
of smoothies or whatever that you sell, but can you make your own?
Yes, you can. We kind of handcraft what we're doing, and with smoothies, you can definitely make your own in terms of you can build it from scratch if you want. That's definitely an option. And then with the other products, you're allowed to have substitutions. Sometimes you might have to pay an upcharge for some of that, just depending on how many substitutions you want or additions. But we do try to make everything individually, except for the juice, which comes packaged, and then the shots. But everything else, we want to make it individually per your needs. You may have allergies, or you just might have certain things you don't want in your food, and we can definitely abide by that.
Now, you have products for just normal folks, and you have stuff that athletes like. I have a son who puts all these concoctions together so that he can strength train.
Yes.
So you've got stuff. What are your stuff for these performance people?
Well, we have different products that can help with all kinds of different things. Like, for example, with the Pure Green smoothie that has spinach and kale, and you're telling me you like spinach
Yes,
a lot.
I love spinach and kale.
Yeah, and that helps with your heart health and also with immunity and blood circulation. And then we have some other products that are really good with hydration and performance. So things like the blue banana smoothie, for example, and then we have some juices that are good in that regard. I'm not as familiar with what the elite athletes like. I just know that we have the relationships, but we're not allowed to necessarily talk about the individual athletes or the teams because we don't have endorsement deals with them.
Well, what's flying out the door as far as for what are you seeing that people love?
Yes.
That you can't keep on the shelf?
Well, we certainly sell a lot of blue banana smoothies and pure green smoothies, and then tropical breeze smoothies. The pure green, of course, has the kale and the spinach, and the blue banana has blue spirulina, which has antioxidant properties to it, as well as banana has a nice texture to it. And a lot of smoothies have banana in it. It really gives a certain flavor profile. In addition, tropical breeze has things like coconut and mango and also pineapple. So it's got like a little bit of a tropical sense to it. And those are selling very well. In terms of the juices, we tend to sell a lot of, we sell Golden Girl, and we sell a lot of, as well as, we have one that's kind of a beet one, called Rocket Beet, and so that's really good with. Apparently, beets are really good for your health in terms of your heart health.
You know, a lot of people hate. I love beets. So that speaks to me.
Yeah, it's got that red color to it too. Yeah, and the colors of these foods, it's very natural, and it tends to like draw you in a little bit. It's interesting how food works in that regard.
Let's talk about the bowls that you guys offer. You offer several types of bowls.
Yes.
What do they include?
Well, most of them are acai bowls, frozen acai out of Brazil, but we also have a couple of pitaya bowls, which pitaya has dragon fruit from Brazil as well. And so what these products have is they give you this nice base, which is with the frozen part of it, and then on top of it.
Can you have an option with the base?
Yes, you could use anything from coconut water to almond milk,
Which is good with electrolytes, the coconut water.
Oh yes. Yeah. Some people like to substitute water in some cases, and then there's maybe one where you have orange juice. In addition, we have sweetened and unsweetened almond milk, and so that tends to go into the base with the pitaya or with the frozen acai. And then we have toppings, everything from bananas to apples, fresh ones, blueberries, strawberries, and then we have granola in some regards. And the granola kind of gives you, again, that little bit of a base, a crunchiness.
Yes.
But I don't know, I would definitely encourage
Bill, you're making us hungry. Now, Bill, is this a family affair for you?
It is. I'm the franchisee, so I operate the store, but I have two of my daughters, Deirdre and Rachel, working with me, in addition to 13 other associates, and we love all of them, and they're just great. And so they're adults. Deirdre's 23 and Rachel's 30. Rachel is a graduate of Howard University, and Deirdre is going to Prince George's Community College, and it's a real blessing to be able to work with my children.
How does it feel kind of passing it on to your children, passing this down, the experience of working in the store with you, how to put a business together, and how to make it successful? How does that feel to you, passing that on, especially your daughters?
Yes, well, it feels great, and it used to be, I think, in the country, if you go back a few generations, it was more common, I think, for people to work in a familiar setting, whether it was on a farm or a small business. And we got away from that a little bit, but there are still a lot of family businesses, and so this just happens to be one. But it's really good. It's there's a level of loyalty within families that exists that's very important, and everyone kind of has their own skills or talents that they bring to the mix. But it's really good to be working in a health food market too. It's because it's good for us, and like it's going to be something for the rest of our life that we can, if we eat healthy, it'll improve our outcomes and give us more energy and more alert. And then there's a mental health aspect to that too, I believe. And so I don't know, it's really good. I think we learn a lot of lessons by operating a business and by serving people, by having an attitude of service, because we encounter all kinds of different requests and situations, and sometimes we have to have a lot of patience with our guests, and we try to do that. And then, but for the most part, it's just we have great conversations, and they're great people that come by.
That was my next question. What type of atmosphere would you say? Because you've also said that if you needed to sit and work or whatever,
Yes.
it's that kind of atmosphere where you can do that as well.
Yes.
So you can come in and buy and run, or
Yeah.
you can stay a minute?
Yes, you can, and yeah, a lot of people do more or less a grab and go. People's lifestyle is that they're on the move and doing a lot of things. Sometimes they're on their way to work. Sometimes they went to work out.
Especially if you're open at 7 a.m., they're probably just trying to grab and go.
Yes, yeah, and we definitely try to be conscious of people's time. We don't want them to wait too long. You know, at the same time, we are making everything individually except for the juices, which come packaged. But we do want to have an environment where people do feel comfortable if they want to stay. Like, we don't have loud music. We kind of keep the music to a level that is, kind of in the background, I would say. And then occasionally people like to meet at our store, like a business meeting or any other kind of meeting, and we definitely encourage that. We feel honored that they feel comfortable scheduling around us, and we welcome them as well. And then, but it's a very bright atmosphere, very clean store. We definitely put a lot of effort towards that. We think it's very important, the cleanliness part, because again, we read online about the complaints that people in Bowie make about it's the customer service and the atmosphere. Some places just, when you're not that clean, it just gives the impression that you don't care that much, or you don't care about the people you're serving.
Let me tell you what is most important to me is, and I complain about it all the time, good customer service.
Yes.
You want to be there, you want to serve the public.
Yes.
And a lot of times you go in these places and it's like, what do you want?
Yeah, exactly.
Not may I help you, but what do you want? You're bothering me. I was on my cell phone talking to my boyfriend. What do you want?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I've encountered that as well. It's not just you, I can assure you.
So how do you make it a more friendly?
Yes. Well, we have similar rules to some of your other really well-run companies, like at Pure Green. We, at the 10 feet away, when a person comes to the door, we greet them. And then when they're 5 feet away, we try to make eye contact, and we try to drop what we're doing if, like, we're the person really greeting the guests, and we say, welcome to Pure Green. And that makes a big difference, just because we're not surprised that they came. I mean, we wanted them to come, so we shouldn't act like we're surprised by it. We should welcome them, and we should also just put their needs first. I mean, we might be mopping the floor or doing something else, cleaning, but when they come in, they're number one. Like, we want to observe their time really well. We want to honor it, and we want to answer any questions they have, and we don't want to act like we're in a rush to do something else. We're there for them.
What are the biggest questions? Do the questions concern the ingredients? Is how pure is this? What are the major concerns?
Yes, they have questions like some of the ones you've asked, like, can we do substitutions, and what kind of substitutions? They also want to know about what are called cleanses, where, for example, there's a basic cleanse where one can have a cold pressed juice about every 3 hours. So you have 4 of them, and that takes you to dinner time, and then between them you're having water. So they'll ask about that, because we have about 8 or 9 different varieties of the cold pressed juice. So they want to know, like, which ones would be the best for that. And then they want to know what are some of the health benefits to the juices, as well as the smoothies and acai bowls. And we sell toasts and oatmeal. So they have some questions also about whether we're vegan. So the only thing that hinges is whether almond milk would be considered vegan. Many people do consider that vegan. Some people might not. But so they have questions like that. And they also ask questions about, is this good for me if I'm diabetic? And sometimes there's some confusion in the market about sugars. Like,
yes,
the sugars that come with the fruits and vegetables are what we have, but we don't add sugars. And generally speaking, one should be concerned about the added sugars, not the natural sugars.
Where do we go from here as we get ready to run out of time? I want to know, where are you going from here? Are you planning on other stores? You just want to build on what you have? What is your plan for the future?
That's a good question, Stephanie. We're still in our first 90 days, and I feel like we're still very much focused on providing a great experience for people who come to Pure Green Bowie, and we want them to come back. So we're at 3902 Town Center Boulevard, and we're open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week, and we just want to really focus in on doing the best we can, and then if we do really well, there'll probably be other opportunities for us, but right now we got to really focus on our store in Bowie and do the best we can.
And it's a great location because you're right near the fountain.
We are, yes, we are.
So if you're in Bowie Town Center, it's a very visual. It's a very good place to be.
Yeah, I like the location, so. And when the weather gets warmer too, there's more people walking around, and sometimes they discover us that way. They're walking around, they check us out.
Yeah, because when you told me about the place, I didn't initially know where it was, but as you began, I was like, oh yeah. That is a great place to be. We are so glad to have you here in Bowie, bringing us some healthy options. I am one of the ones who complained about there not being enough healthy options here in Bowie. So is there anything else you want to tell us about the store before we wrap it up?
I can't think of anything right now, but I just really appreciate your reaching out and having me on your show. This has been great, and it's good to meet you as well. And I just hope everyone is having a good summer so far. And
it's a great thing to have for the summer.
Yes.
To add to your diet for the summer.
Yes.
That healthy option.
Yeah.
You've been watching the Sisters for Fitness Wellness Show. I'm Stephanie Gaines-Bryant. We've been talking to Bill Murray. I know people get you mixed up all the time.
They do, every day.
With the other Bill Murray. He's the owner and operator of Pure Green, and it sounds like something I'm definitely going to check out. Have a great day, everybody.